Hi everybody, it's Taylor. Welcome back to my channel. I'm an American expat living in Malaysia and I like to share my life and travels with you. Well, today I decided I'm not going to talk about moving to my new apartment. Instead, what I'm going to talk about is how safe is Malaysia? Well, pretty safe I'd say, but if that sounds interesting, stay tuned. Well, lately I've been seeing quite a few things on Facebook about people asking about how safe Malaysia is, or assuming the worst actually, and I'm going to get more into that later. But today I'm going to talk about my feelings about safety in Malaysia, plus some statistics too. Well, on world statistics of safest countries, Malaysia comes in pretty high, especially compared to the United States, which is 131st. How pathetic is that? But what do they measure for this? Well, it's natural disasters, weather, political climate, that sort of thing. Cost of living, all of those. All that's important to whether a place is safe or not. But I can tell you, I have never felt safer anywhere in the world than I feel in Malaysia, and that's the truth. Okay, we'll talk about crime first, because that's usually what people think about when they think about safety. Well, crime is really not that bad in Malaysia, and has been decreasing year after year. Most crimes in Malaysia are petty crimes, like purse snatching, those sort of things, which can happen anywhere. There's very few violent crimes, not a lot of murder, I guess because they have strict gun laws in Malaysia. Unlike other places I know. Now, there's common burglaries, things like that, and that does happen. I even know someone who had their house burgled, but it's not common. But I think Malaysians overreact to that safety concern, as their houses can be virtual fortresses with walls and gates and everything like that. And if that makes them feel safer, that's great, although I just wouldn't feel the need for that here, because it's just not a scary place. Some of the houses, and I'm not just talking about embassies, actually have guard houses with 24-hour guards protecting the property. Well, this gives you a false impression. That makes you think that, oh my gosh, this must be very dangerous here. But it's not, it's just a precaution. And I guess rich people can afford it, so why not? I do see a lot of questions from women who are thinking about visiting Malaysia alone, and if that's a problem. And in general, it's not. But use common sense. It's best not to go out alone at night in the city. But in general, I've heard most women do feel safe here. So what are the safest cities in Malaysia? Big cities. Well, number one is Malacca. Not a surprise. It's just a charming, laid-back town that you just feel safe in. Penang's pretty safe too, so that's good. KL comes in last, of course, but that's because it's a huge, huge city, and of course there's going to be more crime here. So what are the safest countries in Asia? Well, number one is Singapore, but that, is for obvious reasons. They're so strict about everything there. And boy, you don't want to do any crime, that's for sure. Number two is Japan. That's a very orderly and safe country too. Now, Malaysia is in the top 10 of safest countries in Asia, so that's good. I also looked at some statistics on peaceful countries, which are the most peaceful countries in the world. And boy, did I like that. In the Global Peace Index, Malaysia is number 10. It's gotten 9 points better since the last survey. And I tell you, I'd much rather live in a peaceful country than a not peaceful country. So how does Malaysia rate on the peaceful index compared to some of its neighbors? Well, Singapore's number 5, not a surprise, although Indonesia is 48th. Quite a bit worse than Malaysia, that's for sure. Cambodia is 70, which surprises me because I felt very safe in Cambodia. And Thailand is 75th. Yes, I think Thailand is a little less peaceful or safe. Malaysia also ranks 3rd in multinationalism. And that's because the 3 major ethnic groups here, the Malays, the Chinese, and the Indians, live in pretty much peaceful harmony. Not perfect by any means, but pretty good compared to the rest of the world, I'd say. So what are some of the attributes of the safest countries in the world? Well, there's wealth, social welfare, education, effective criminal justice system, and government-citizen relations. And I guess Malaysia's all pretty high in all of those. I'm really getting irritated with the wind in my hair. You'll have to excuse my hair making this flip throughout the video. There's another ranking that Malaysia doesn't score particularly high on, and I'm not sure why, but that's the happiness index. I think Malaysians seem like the happiest people I've ever met in any country in the world. Now, the countries that lead the way with that are the Scandinavian countries. But they're so cold, how could people be happy there? Here we have lovely weather, fabulous food, good and affordable health care, and it's very safe. Malaysia also is very family-centric, with lots of households with multi-generations living together. And that is for Malays, Chinese, and Indians, I think. Another reason I think Malaysians are so happy is that there's so many public holidays. Wow, so many, like at least twice as many as we have in the US. There's so many holidays, but because they recognize the holidays of all the religions here. Muslim, Christian, Hindu, and Buddhist. So, I mean, you could practically hardly turn around and there's another public holiday. And that makes people happy, I can tell you that. So you might not make a ton of money, but you have a lot of quality time to spend with your friends and family. I came across this meme the other day about the Olympics, because Malaysia just won a couple of bronze medals. And boy, does that make Malaysia excited. But this little meme just shows the difference between China, mainland China, and Malaysia in their reactions to not getting a gold medal. Malaysia's thrilled just to get a bronze. And they're so proud. Now, another thing as far as crime goes is scams. Yes, there are scams in Malaysia, and I have even been sort of a victim of them. First of all, there's just petty scams, really. I tried to sell a desk online once, and these people started texting right away and said, "Oh, I want that desk, I want that desk. But you need to put the deposit down for the moving people." I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? You can see scams that way. Sometimes they're less obvious. I've had sort of people calling about pretending they're from the bank and stuff. And yeah, I almost fell for that one, but I didn't. You just have to be careful. But that stuff happens all over the world, not just in Malaysia. But that brings me back to my Facebook friend and his friends in the US acting like things are so scary here. Well, he had a little motor vehicle accident recently with a motorcycle. Now, in Malaysia, if a car and a motorcycle are in an accident together, it's automatically the car's fault. I know that doesn't make much sense, but that's just the way it is here. So it sort of gives motorcycles carte blanche to do anything. But still, most of them are pretty reasonable and safe drivers, I guess. So anyway, he was changing lanes, and a motorcycle was coming up next to him and glanced off his car. Now, the guy fell over and was limping afterwards, and there was quite a sizable dent in my friend's car. But the guy couldn't have been nicer. Now, yes, my friend offered to pay for everything if there was any damage to his bike or if he had any health concerns or needed to go to the doctor or hospital. And of course, my friend had to pay for his own car to be fixed. But my point being is that he put this on Facebook, and his friends from the US were going, "Oh, that's got to be a scam. He's going to take you for everything you're worth. He saw you were not from there, and he's just trying to get everything out of you that he can." Well, no, that's not how it is at all. Like I said, yeah, there's scams here, but there are way more scams in other countries, especially the United States. For instance, another motorcycle-related story, I lent my Vespa to a friend of mine, and I'm sort of glad it happened to them, although, well, I mean, they're younger and they could deal with it better, but I'm glad it didn't happen to me. But the belt, the driving belt or whatever on the bike broke on the highway. Well, the bike just stopped dead. But it didn't take 5 minutes before someone else came along, another motorcyclist, and offered to tow him home. Now, that's just incredible and so nice. Well, the guy towed Vicky, that's what I call my Vespa, Vicky, back to my complex, and I kept it by the guardhouse overnight. The next day, I had this very professional van come and take it to the repair shop. That only cost $25 for the tow. And look what a nice van it is and what a good job they did. And I had the bike back that very afternoon, so you can't ask for more than that. And it was repaired at a fair price and with a cheerful smile. So that's a much more likely scenario. You're just going to find happy, helpful, kind people in Malaysia for the most part. Yeah, there's a few bad apples, but there's more than a few in a lot of other countries. I hope that helps some of you decide about if you want to visit Malaysia or come live here. If you were worried about safety, don't be. It's really a safe and happy and peaceful country. Don't worry too much, just come visit and enjoy. Malaysians are welcoming and warm. Now I wanted to just give a little brief talk about the MM2H situation. I haven't been reporting much on it lately because it's just so complex and so confusing, and nobody has all the answers. I do have this chart that I'm going to put up, which explains the different criteria for the different MM2H programs. The mainland, the Sarawak, the Sabah. So you can look that over if you want. But I'm just not going to be reporting on it as regularly. For one thing, I'm disappointed that they didn't relax the criteria more than they did, because I'd like more people to be able to move here. Now, yes, more people are going to be able to move here, but for instance, I wouldn't be able to. So I'm really grateful that I will be grandfathered in with my original terms. So once they sort all the MM2H stuff out, I'll probably report on it again, but for now, I'm just going to leave it alone, and you can get the information on the internet pretty easy on your own. Now, I do recommend Alter Domus in Penang as my MM2H agent, and they just do great work. But I'm not sure about Sabah or Sarawak, so you'll have to find that out somewhere else. But I hope that helps a little. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm out on the pool level here. I couldn't get a good view of the pool because it's too hot in the sun. But this is like one of the barbecue areas. But if you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe, and check the notification bell too so you won't miss any of my future content. Also, buy me a coffee if you really want to thank me for my content and help the channel grow. The link is below, and I really appreciate it. Not that many people buy me a coffee, but I really appreciate the ones that do. Thank you so much. Well, that's all I have for today. I'm going to go out later on my motorcycle. I haven't tried it since it had some new drive belt put in, so I'm sure I'll enjoy that drive. But thanks for watching today, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later. Bye.